What's up guys, ChartSmith here, back again with a new video. As you probably have already noticed by now, I didn't make a video yesterday, and that has a pretty good reason. And that is because on the time I normally would record videos and upload it on YouTube, I was just busy trading. I took 2 trades yesterday. They both took a while because it was London. Well, not both. One took a while, the first one didn't take so long, but we're gonna get into that in a moment. Well, no, I think I'm gonna make a separate video about those 2 trades. So right now I'm just gonna make a new market update for today, so you guys are updated on the market, and I'm just doing what I normally would do in these videos. And then today there's also gonna come a separate video where I'm gonna talk about my trades from yesterday. Otherwise this is gonna be a way too long video. Yesterday was really interesting price action. If you really want to learn trading and understand how price action works, just zoom in on what happened yesterday and then you can learn a lot. Just think by yourself what happened, why did it happen, how did it happen, etc, etc. There's a lot of things to learn from the price action of yesterday. But for now, let's get into a little recap of what price did yesterday and what that does for today, and then we will make the plan for today as well. As you can see, there are a lot of drawings, but that is because a lot has happened. I think I will hide it. I first want to point out this breaker block because this one is really important for what happened yesterday and today. No, let me do this differently. Let me just make this in a group and then hide it. And just draw it in again, because then it's more clear for you guys. As you can see, this is a really strong breaker block. You first wanted to use it as resistance, well you did actually. After that you just pump right through, making it a breaker block. You used it as support right here, trying to make new highs. You couldn't. Once again, try to do it over here, Friday and Monday night. Couldn't do it. What happened in the morning of Monday? You closed below this. This can mean it's gonna get more bearish and you can use it as resistance, but you have no confirmations yet. It also is in correlation with the 4-hour PD array you inversed here, and you also inverse this really strong 1-hour PD array. As you can see, when did that happen? That happened at 10 AM in the morning yesterday. So these are more bearish confluences, and of course, if you look at structure, you are for a while more bearish. Oh, I have to draw this in differently. You are more bearish than bullish, of course. Yeah, let me just draw in the bigger picture. You've just been making lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low. So what can you expect right here? Lower high, followed by lower low, until the market has taken out enough liquidity. Right now we're building up really strong liquidity on the highs, a lot of trend liquidity to be seen there. As you can see, if the market is gonna take this out, it always happens, well always, it most of the times will happen in a really quick move. Because it's gonna take a while for the market can take it out, it needs to grab enough liquidity from the highs. As you can see right here, the market took a long time to take enough liquidity from the highs and build up enough liquidity on the lows before taking it out. But if it does take it out, it's gonna be pretty quick. So if the market is ready, we can expect a big pump up. And now the big question is, of course, when do I expect the market is gonna do that? Well, if you look at our higher time frame structure, then this is your last higher low that put in this higher high. It's not on the daily. On the daily your last higher low is over here. So on the daily there's a lot of room to correct towards the downside. Do we expect that? In the first place, no, but of course it could do, because there's enough liquidity here, 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 and also here. So if it wants to, it can, but your first low to hold is gonna be this low. So I want to look for a higher low in here, and then I expect a pump. That can also happen over here, of course. Let's look. Grab the range tool. We are in the discount zone right now of this up move, so it's also a fine place to take buys right now. So that is also a great confluence to look at. What is also a good confluence is we have 3 taps on our lows. That is just a model that you can use if you know a bit of Wyckoff, etc. You understand this. It's a 3 tap model. Most of the times when the low is gonna get protected, you can expect a bump up because enough liquidity has been taken out on the lows and they're ready to take out liquidity on the highs. What is there more to point out on this time frame? Right now we're holding this bearish PD array and we're also using this breaker block as a resistance. But if you zoom in good and you keep in mind that these lows are going to be the lows that make the bottom of this this downtrend, they want to see the market leave open this low. And if you look, it's not confirmed, it's only confirmed if we're going to break above this high, that this is your new higher low. But we can put in a higher low here and pump towards all this liquidity on the highs. So yes, right now we can make a new higher low for higher highs towards all the liquidity on the highs. Even though we're respecting bearish fair value gaps, MPD arrays, how you want to call it, we inverse pretty much all our bullish fair value gaps, using it as resistance as well in correlation with this breaker block. So if we look at PD arrays and our structure, it of course is still bearish, so don't get too bullish, but the local picture is gonna tell you a lot. Even though the market was pretty bearish yesterday, I took 2 longs. It is risky, I know that, but if you know what you're doing, it can work out. But you will see that in the video where I'm gonna talk about the trades. But furthermore, not really a lot of interesting things to see apart from those PD arrays. Let me take them out of the chart and just unhide this group. Yeah, there's also this 1 4-hour I talked about just now, the PD array you're holding, and a lot of SMTs on the lows. This one can get out of the chart. There are a lot of SMTs on the lows right now because Asia is taking out more liquidity from the lows than Nasdaq is. It can indicate that it also is a sign that the market wants to squeeze up. If you see, we're also getting a pretty nice round bottom, another confluence that the market maybe wants to go up again. So I'm sneakily gonna get a bit bullish. I already was yesterday, but I'm getting more bullish right now because we have a bit more confluences than yesterday, because yesterday was just still this, and right now we're building up this nice round bottom. We have these 3 taps. That is also only since New York AM session since yesterday, and right now we're respecting the 3rd tap low until now. So let's zoom into the local picture to see if we have any more confluences. Well, as you can see, Asia was still down, lunch PM was more up than down, taking out some liquidity from the highs. AM high was a pretty strong liquidity point to take out. But then we left open this low, which is strength. We also gained some structure right here, as you can see on the 15 minute. So what do you expect right now? You expect a higher low for a new higher high. Of course, if you still want to keep moving down, you can reverse at any liquidity point. You can already reverse over here, of course. But your high to break or to hold is this one. So you can move up until here to put in that lower high and then still make that lower low. So as I said, you can't get too bullish too soon. We really can get bullish again if you break this higher time frame lower high. This is your last lower high you put in. So it is down until you gain that on the higher time frame. But locally on the 50 minute, right now you're up. Also on the 1 minute, as you can see, it's just up until proven otherwise. You're making higher lows and higher high, higher low, higher high, and probably you're gonna put in a higher low right now. So that is also more bullish than bearish. But if you zoom out, you're of course more bearish than bullish. So you really have to compare the two together, and what are logical points to look for longs and what are the points to look for shorts. As I said, every liquidity point can be used, and as a short pivot point, this one for instance, because this one tried to bring you towards new lows. That still didn't happen. If all the people that tried selling this move are still in their position, hoping the new lows are gonna be made, then the market maybe can take out this high, really creating some panic and get people to panic sell all the positions. They have to sell back more expensive than they bought from. That is a nice way to fill up a lot of orders for the market makers, and then we can make new lows. It also can happen at the session highs, of course. On the bigger picture, this is your high that tried to bring you towards new lows. So this is just a big pile of liquidity for the market to maybe take out and make new lows. So really locally speaking, you're now up because you broke 50-minute structure. On the 1 minute, 5 minute, it's pointing up. But if you zoom out towards the 1 hour and the 4 hour, locally it's down. And if you zoom out more, it's up because we still didn't broke below this low. So yes, this, if you want to call it locally, is down, but really zoom out, this is still up. So you have confluences to be bullish and you have confluences to be bearish. You just have to watch out for the zones where you can short or long. Let's look at my long pivot points. As I said, if we really want to create this really nice rounding up bottom and respect those 3 taps and the lows, I want to see this AM low to be left open. Maybe a quick sweep and then a pump up, but I like it more when it's gonna be left open, because then you can make this higher low as well. So for me it is leaving open the lows, it's looking long. Also this low, but those are equal, so the market can take it out, of course. They also can take out lunch low, but I want to see this low get respected, then from there continue the uptrend towards all the liquidity on the highs. And then the market just indicates to me, okay, we've taken out enough liquidity on the lows, we could take some liquidity from the highs. For shorts, as I said, you just have to be really cautious on pretty much all these highs, because there's just a lot of sellers that stepped into the market here that are expecting this lower high to hold, and they just want to sell with the move and aim towards new lower lows. So for buys, this is really interesting liquidity, and for sells, it is also really interesting to look to enter new positions, because then you just manipulate in the highs. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you really want to learn price action, just analyze what happened yesterday, in the last couple of days, and really try to understand what I'm saying here, because if you are pretty new to this game, this maybe can sound a bit like rocket science for you. It really isn't. It's just a lot to keep in mind, but it's all really important to understand what is happening on the bigger picture, what is happening on the smaller picture of the bigger picture, and then of the smaller picture of the bigger picture of the smaller picture. If you know what I mean. I'm just making it more complicated just to fool around a bit, but there are just pretty much 3 layers we have to look at right now. Yeah, it's pretty clear there's gonna get a big pump soon. Well, soon, eventually, because yeah, bro, this is just too much of juicy liquidity. So if you understand it and you know how to trade, then you're gonna make a lot of money the coming time, or you're gonna take some stop losses and learn from it. Fine either way. If you do your work and do what you have to do, and if it goes wrong, bro, it doesn't matter. Just learn from it, adapt, and take it towards your next trades. But what is my plan for today? Well, I prefer to long, because shorting I would look at these highs I pointed out that are just my short pivot points, and for longs I'm looking at these bottoms. So if we're gonna dump down right now, I would prefer to see a grind down, but if we're gonna dump right down, give us some indication we're leaving open low, form some sort of range at the bottom, manipulating like I told in all these videos before, and then giving me a long entry, I'm taking the longs. We're really gonna get bearish if you're gonna close below this low again, because then you just have a confirmed lower high and a new lower low. And for the high time frame to really get bullish again and look towards all these highs, we have to break above 880. That is simply said what is just happening right now. But really study this and study the video that I'm gonna make in a bit, so keep an eye on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, leave behind a comment. I once again spitted some knowledge for you guys. It's all free on here. Normally you would pay a lot of money for information like this from a man like me. So I hope you learn a lot from it. I hope you take this in you and do something with it, because then we're just gonna get better. In the description there's a link to my Discord, well, my Discord channel, me and my trading partners Discord channel. Right there we're pretty much sharing everything. We are looking on the market in real time, so if we see something interesting we will just share it, or we just share if we're gonna see this and this and this, we want to do this. So if you want to be really updated and see some stock analysis, crypto analysis, it doesn't really matter, gold, other indices, we can chart it all. If you have requests and want to talk about the market, we're trying to build a community with like-minded traders. It's of course free, because my channel is free as well. So I would like to see you there, talk to you there, and then this will be it for this video. Like and subscribe, and then I will see you in the next video. Ciao.